Huawei phones are well built, powerful, and best of all, great value. So much so that it's quite difficult to find stock of some of their latest smartphones. While some of these Huawei smartphones are a few years old at this point, some of their hardware surprisingly rivals some of the newer smartphone releases. And that's where our guide to the top 5 best Huawei phones you can buy for this year comes in. As always, all the links to products you'll find in the description below, and let us know in the comments which gadgets you'd like to see in our next videos. Number 5. Huawei Mate 40 Pro. A very good flagship smartphone, but again, hard for me to recommend it to others. Become the first with a 5nm chipset. The camera sensor is refined by Leica. Waterfall display design with a very elegant color gradient combination. The stereo speakers are of high quality while being designed to be waterproof. There are so many advantages brought by Huawei, making the Huawei Mate 40 Pro very competitive when compared to other flagships. The Huawei Mate 40 Pro display looks pretty great. This screen is 6.76-inch diagonally, which is pretty big. One of the key features of this smartphone is of course the camera. In the space ring behind it, there are 4 sensors, each of which has a different function. The main snapper is the same 50-megapixel f1.9 camera we also saw on the Huawei P40 series and Mate 40. This has an RAYB sensor, which allows it to take in more light. This is joined by a 20-megapixel f1.8 ultra-wide camera and a 12-megapixel f3.4 periscope telephoto for 5x optical zoom snapper. Equipped with a chipset made by Huawei, the Kirin 9005J on the Huawei Mate 40 Pro is arguably one of the best to date. Number 4. Huawei P50 Pro. The attacks launched by the American government to inhibit Huawei are indeed quite terrible. However, Huawei does not seem willing to give up on the punishment given by the superpower. This is marked by the launch of their latest smartphone, which has the best camera at this time. The smartphone is the Huawei P50 Pro. The main camera on this phone is excellent, with a 50-megapixel wide camera coupled with a 40-megapixel black and white camera to capture great shots, whether you're near or far from your subject, in good light or shooting at night, and relying on AI optimization or not. Video recording goes up to 4K and 60 FPS, a combination of resolution and frame rate we don't always see in phones, and you can shoot 4K video on some other lenses too. The screen is a 6.6-inch OLED with a resolution of 2700 by 1228 pixels. Even though it was only released in 2022, keep in mind that the P50 Pro is the first phone on display in 2021. So it's not surprising that this SoC used is Snapdragon 888. Number 3. Huawei P30. Huawei P30 is the original version of the P30 series. The P30 series itself includes the P30, P30 Pro, and P30 Lite. This smartphone still puts forward the camera and performance as mainstay features like other members of the P30 series have. For photos and videos, the P30 has 3 main cameras with a resolution of 40 megapixel, 16 megapixel, and 8 megapixel. The main lens has a resolution of 40 megapixel with an aperture of f1.8. The secondary lens is supported by a 16 megapixel ultra-wide sensor with an f2.2 aperture, while the third lens uses a telephoto sensor measuring 8 megapixel with an aperture of f2.4. Huawei P30 has equipped with a 6.1-inch OLED screen with FHD plus 2340 by 1080p resolution. The aspect ratio is 19.5 by 9 and the screen body-to-body ratio reaches 85.8%. The kitchen is supported by the Kirin 980 chipset with an octa-core processor and a Mali G76M P10 GPU. To support its performance, GPU Turbo 3.0 technology is supported. The storage is supported by 8 GB RAM and 128 GB storage. Number 2. Huawei Mate 20 Pro. The Huawei Mate 20 Pro is a brilliant all-around phone, offering up a heady mix of design, power, and performance with a few party pieces thrown in too. There is a 6.39-inch screen with a Quad HD Plus resolution of 3120 by 1440p, which is protected with scratch-resistant Corning Gorilla Glass. The screen uses AMOLED technology and has an aspect ratio of 19.5 by 9. In terms of photography, the Huawei Mate 20 Pro comes with 3 rear cameras consisting of a combination of a 40-megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture wide-angle sensor, a 20-megapixel camera with an f2.2 ultra-wide aperture sensor, and an 8-megapixel camera with an f2.4 telephoto sensor. At first glance, the Huawei Mate 20 Pro uses the Kirin 980 octa-core chipset with 7nm process technology, complete with a dual neural network processing unit that can control artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage are also believed to accompany the performance of the chipset. Number 1. Huawei P30 Pro. Despite being accompanied by some controversies, the Huawei P30 Pro has in fact become one of the most sought-after phones by mobile photography enthusiasts. Naturally, Huawei's P series is designed to spoil cell phone photo hunters. Even at DxO Mark, the highest variant of the Huawei P30 series, is at the top of the list of the best quality phones. On the front, the Huawei P30 Pro screen uses a 6.47-inch OLED panel with a resolution of 2340 by 1080p on paper. The Huawei P30 Pro specifications are equipped with a Kirin 980 processor combined with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal memory. In daily use, the overall performance of the Huawei P30 Pro is quite satisfactory. The reason is, the phone still responds quickly when used for various multitasking activities, such as opening more than 10 applications simultaneously. Well, this is the richest feature that this flagship phone has. For the record, the key to the Huawei P30 Pro's camera performance lies in the 4 rear cameras designed by Leica. Of the 4 rear cameras, 3 of them are arranged vertically with a main camera configuration of 40 megapixel, a 20 megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, and an 8 megapixel telephoto camera with super zoom. That just finished our video. Which one is your favorite? Why not let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. If you want to see more high-quality videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and you'll get the latest videos straight to your mailbox. That way, you'll never miss a future upload. See you on the next video.